Helldivers, are you sick of getting destroyed on the bot front or not being as effective as you'd want to be? Well, then I have a build for you. Now, this is one of my personal builds that I use all the time to be extremely effective. Regardless of what enemy or what biome, looking at you Magma rolls, that you face, you will be extremely resilient as well as a killing machine. So let me break it down for you here. And to prove to you that this build is worthwhile, I've tested it out on D10 on the Magma worlds to make sure that I was under tons of pressure from the bots constantly. But yeah, let's get into the weapons. So if you are needing to do tons of damage at a rapid pace and keep all the enemy at bay, you are going to look no further than the double sickle. This thing is a beast, and as long as you're not overheating it, you have unlimited ammo, so, you know, a good killer. Then onto the ultimatum. This is the great equalizer on the battlefield. You can shoot down anything from, you know, the little guys up to the factory striders. This is going to be your best friend. Then I like to bring the dynamite because you could time throw it or you could just throw it out and have it detonate on its own. But a giant blast and it's going to eliminate all of the enemies that come your way. Then the key highlight to this build is going to be the salamander armor for the reason that you have heavy fire resistance, not only from, you know, the planet that you'll be on, but also from the overheating of your weapon, so you're not going to be burning yourself up, which is the problem of the double sickle. So if you rock these two together, you will be a monster. Then I like to use the helmet just because I love the aesthetic. Then for our stratagems, I make sure that I always bring these things when I really want to be efficient for killing the automatons, and that's going to be the orbital laser, the 500 kg bomb, the recoilless, because that has always been, you know, one of my favorite weapons, and it is so goddamn reliable. And then for this particular mission, because it is a blitz that I'm showing off, I'm bringing the Emancipator exosuit. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to actually bring exosuits onto bot missions because they could get killed quickly, but I'm here to tell you, friends, if you are effective with this thing, you can be a monster on the battlefield. And then for a booster, let's make sure to not forget the vitality enhancement because this is going to help keep you alive when you're taking severe damage so you don't die as much. And then right from the start, it gets crazy. We start attacking the processor base, the enemies come. I switch to my primary first to make sure that I'm going to be melting down the enemy. As you can see, I'm burning through them with the D-sickle, making light work of anything that stands in front of me, but make sure that you're aiming for the head or the midpoints on those devastators. Working your way up here, taking out the enemy as they come through, and I see the dropships coming, so I'm going to pull out the recoilless rifle, shoot it, hit the engine, one-shot kill it, kill everyone that's coming out, swap back over to my primary, and just finish the job. And then there are a couple devastators left, so I'm just going to whip out some C4 because it has such a huge explosive value to it that it's just going to wipe anything that it comes into contact with. So then a quick shout out here, on these blitz missions for these bioprocessors, you can actually take them out with heavy explosives like the recoilless, which I'm doing over here. Then continuing with our dropship tactics, I'm going to make sure I'm in position. I'm going to shoot at one of the engines of the enemy, make sure I'm taking out at least one of those ships. He's going to crash into all of his friends. But then I see some ground troops coming at me, so again, I'm going to dive out of the way, pull out the D-sickle, start doing work. But then, unfortunately, there is a factory strider coming at my face, so I'm going to whip out that ultimatum, and typically 2 shots will do the job on them. And then as I approach space, I'm using my D-sickle to take out the shield devastators again, but I see a Hulk trying to surprise me, so I whip out my ultimatum for heavy explosive damage to just quickly take him out with 1 shot. And now for all of you non-believers in the mech, I'm going to show off how good the Emancipator is. I'm going to drop this guy into the battlefield, and not only am I going to just 2-shot, 1-shot all of the automatons that are coming my way that are lightweights, but even the heavy guys, you can just take that autocannon and shoot right through their armor. I'm able to shoot down and take out a lot of the objectives in the distance, so the ones that are, you know, too far away for me to hit with my primaries, quickly blow them up, or even the ones that are up close, just a couple shots, and it's going to be super effective. So in a blitz, this is one of my favorite things to take because it has high maneuverability as well as functionality. Okay, now on for some tactics. I see that there is some bases on the horizon. Unfortunately, I start to aggro everything going on over here. So I'm going to do what I can just to throw out my orbital laser and do massive damage to the base over here. But even more men are coming my way, so I'm pulling out the D-sickle once more, mowing them down. As you can see, it's cutting through all these light guys. The laser is backing me up, and that's again why I love the orbital laser. But things are starting to become a little too hectic for me. But thankfully, I have that salamander armor that's protecting me from the fire damage that they're shooting at me from those shotguns, and having the heavy armor also helps to keep you alive. But then now I have to disengage because it's getting a little bit too sweaty. So I'm going to go through this crevice, but flamethrower man's coming my way, so I'm going to go around the side and disengage completely and try to get out of there. So okay, I'm still very heavily aggroed, so I'm going to make sure that I can throw out my C4, blow up those guys from the distance so you can see that were coming for me. Pull out my D-sickle one more time and just mow down all the chaff. And again, this is why I love this gun so freaking much, man. Look at that rate of fire that I'm putting out. And I'm not having to reload, really. I can just let it cool down and keep going at it, as you can see. And it is just putting in the work for me. Men are trying to come my way, but, you know, it's really not too much of an issue. I'm burning them down, Devastators, Hulks, whatever. If I could even shoot a Hulk in the back, I will with this D-sickle, and it's going to do a good job. But now I'm going to just have to try to reposition a little bit and get myself to some safety so I can recalibrate and see what else is going on. And I'm going to see now that there is a Hulk and some flamethrower guys coming my way. So let's deal with them and make sure that I can call out some orbitals to protect myself and try to disengage just a little bit over here. Again, diving out of the way, making sure I'm staying alive. The 500 kg is putting in the work. So again, that's why you bring the 500 kg. Unfortunately, the Hulk has survived, and he's not taking much damage. So I'm going to duck down here, make sure I'm reloading my recoilless, because I'm going to one-shot this thing whenever I get the chance. So let's go over behind this rock and reposition. Make sure that I can get the recoilless out. And once I get in close, I'm going to aim in, and I'm going to one-shot him. And then as I come around this corner, I see that there's a factory strider protecting that little area. So I'm going to pull out the recoilless and put a couple shots. Always aim for that big cannon so it doesn't one-shot you. And then you can just get a couple shots in around the head if you need to from a distance. Are always good spots. You can hit it in its neck connector point for a lot more damage, but he unfortunately turned towards me, so it's just going to take probably 3 to 4 shots of recoilless to do this. I'm going to be calling out to the orbitals and other types of defensive equipment just to make sure I get them. And then, friends, on to exfil. Now, I'm quickly just going to help out my friends as much as I can and do whatever we got to do to clear this point. Unfortunately for us, there are a crap ton of enemies that have been called in on this point. So we have, you know, Scorcher, Devastators, and Hulks coming in. Lots and lots of men. And I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that I'm helping out my friends as much as possible. But I'll let this play through a little bit. And as you can see, friends, I did my darndest to stay alive and help them out, but unfortunately it did result in the end of good old Ox over here. So that's what happens sometimes, but we were able to successfully exfil. And then quick shout out to these lads over here. They really helped me take on the match while I was able to play solo and do my side of the map. They were just doing everything as a good collective unit and really playing like good Helldivers out there. So shout out to those boys. And as you can see, hey, for a blitz mission, that's a decent amount of kills. And we were able to be highly effective with it. So friends, again, that is one of my favorite builds. You could call it the Ox build. I have no idea what I'm going to call it when I name the video. But as always, if you like this and more, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, hype it, all the good things. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care.